Welcome back to Anime Recap Channel. Today I will show you a 2022 Japanese psychological thriller anime titled Tomodachi Game. Tomodachi Game is set in a normal Japanese high school. The plot revolves around Yuichi Katagiri, our protagonist. Katagiri Yuichi thinks the most crucial thing in the world is his friends. Even though he is poor, he tells his 4 friends that all of them will go on the school trip. The money for the trip is stolen the day before it is paid for. The class thinks that his friends Sawagiri Shiho and Shibe Makoto are behind it, and soon after, all 5 of them are taken away. They wake up in a room and are told that one of them signed up for a friendship game where they have to pay off a debt. Who took the money we needed for the trip? Who signed up to play this game? Will Yuichi and his friends stay close, or will they fall apart? Want to find out? Stay tuned. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. At the beginning of the anime, we are introduced to Yuichi's friends. Makoto Shibe, the charming son of a rich politician who has offered to lend Yuichi the money he needs for the trip, is one of the main character's friends. Shiho Sawaragi, a secretary with a strong will, scolds Shibe for offering to pay Yuichi back with money from his father. Then, Tenji Mikasa, the cool and calm member of the group, steps in and tells Yuichi that he and Yutori Kogorogi, the shy and sweet friend, have finally earned their school trip. When Shiho's locker was broken into and the 2 million she had saved up was stolen, their trip had to be cancelled. They begged them to forgive them, but Shiho and Shibe didn't attend school for a few days. This made everyone in their class suspicious of them. One night, Shiho sends Yuichi a note telling him to meet at the school gates late because she has something important to say. When he gets there, his friends tell him that they all got the same letter from him. Yuichi is confused and thinks they were set up, but then they all get tased, passed out, and wake up in a white room with a weird doll from a Japanese late-night anime called Manabu-kan. He greets the group and says they are there to play games. He then tells them that one of them owes 20 million yen and paid 2 million yen to get into the game. People thought the stolen money for the class trip was the 2 million entry fee. The traitor must have been a member of the group, but who? Manabu-kan tells them that if they win, they will each get 4 million, but if they lose, they will still have to pay back what they owe. The first game is called Kokuri. They are given a name tag with their names on the front and their debts on the back. If they show it to anyone, it will be doubled. The same thing will happen if they talk out of turn. The rules of Kokuri are simple. They must give the same answer to a simple yes or no question. The traitor keeps making mistakes throughout the game, and Yuichi slowly stops trusting his friends, but he has a plan. Yuichi breaks the rules by talking before they decide on an answer, which means your debt will be doubled. Yuichi keeps talking and says a traitor wants to put all of the debt on Yutori. But since he now has twice as much debt as before, he has ruined the plan. He ends his speech by saying that he was joking, that he trusts everyone, and that he just wanted to lighten the mood. Yuichi has now sent a threat to the traitor in a sneaky way. Now that he has tricked the traitor, they are in a tough spot that forces all 5 to pick the correct answer to the next question. They get it right, so they move on to the next game. The second game is called Badmouth Sugoroku. In this game, everyone writes an embarrassing secret about one group member. The audience votes on which secret is the worst, and the person who wrote it has to move up more and more steps until they reach the finish line. The first person to get all the debt and move on to the third game will lose a huge amount of money. The person who stayed will get 1 million yen and be free to leave. They can also drop blank cards. If everyone does, everyone moves up 1 space forward. At first, things went pretty well. They all turned in blank cards until the third round when one of them said that Shiho likes Yuichi and that she dated Tenji. Shibe and Kenji almost fight over this, but they calm down. Each round of the game reveals an embarrassing secret like Shiho getting plastic surgery or Yuichi not taking a bath for a week. Then, a big secret came out about how Yutori was picked on in middle school and rumored to be a prostitute. Yutori loses it and starts to cry. She says that the bullies at school forced her to do it for the money. Yuichi calms her down and the game moves on. The second game shows that Tenji is a traitor. He says he did it because he wants all of Shiho to himself. Tenji wins Shiho's trust and Shiho decides always to believe him. The game continues, and when Shiho is one block away from the final goal, Yuichi sets up his last trap for the traitor to catch him. Yuichi has 3 ideas for how to win the second game. First, he had to find out who the traitor wasn't. He used the cards to talk to Shiho and the others without saying a word. This helped him gain their trust and rule them out as a traitor. The second was making Shibei, Shiho, and Yutori give Yuichi their tags to sign that they would work together and trust him. The third way to find the traitor was to beat Tenji and make him write, "I applied for the competition," while the others were left blank. Shiho is supposed to move on until Yuichi admits in the second game that he lied, which was a rule. If you lied, you would get in trouble. This lets Yuichi go on to the third game instead of Shiho, who goes back 1 block. When Yuichi says he killed people, everyone is shocked, and the group starts to fall apart. As Yuichi was about to lose and move on to the next game, Tenji told him that he lied when he said he had never liked Shiho. The truth was that he liked Yuichi more. This anime has a lot of twists, but this one surprised everyone. Tenji moves on to the next round as Yuichi falls to the third game and he kisses him. At the beginning of the next episode, Tenji explains why he turned on them. He says that Shiho was the reason his father died. He explains that he and his friends entered the Tomodachi game in junior school and lost, leaving him a 20 million debt. He explains that the reason they entered was to contend for Shiho's love. When he explained the situation to his father, breaking the rule of don't tell anyone about the game, his father died soon after. Tenji was heartbroken when he found his father dead in the rain. He didn't like that Shiho was roaming free and decided to give her a taste of the game. Kenji and Yuichi decided to work together. Tenji even shows Yuichi his name tag with the word debt to show how much he trusts Yuichi. After 3 days, they play the third and final game, Friendly Hide and Seek. In this game, each group has one person who hides, and the rest of the group looks for them. In the second game, it was said that the third game was challenging and that Yuichi couldn't handle it alone. More friends are better. There aren't many clues. Once the hider is hidden, they can't move, but they can always press the give up button. They also get cell phones so they can talk to each other. They can switch teams and can't start fights with the other team. Since Yuichi and Kenji were the only group members, Manabu-kan asked if they wanted another person. When Yuichi found out it was a girl, he said yes. Maria is her name. The game starts and Tenji becomes the hider. He is left alone in a cave for days with no food, water, or way to get in touch with anyone else. He gets tired and calls Yuichi to find out what's happening. When someone from Group K answers, they say that Yuichi is going to leave them. Tenji is upset and almost presses the give up button, but he has a strong will and decides to bet his last few seconds on Yuichi. The game moves on. Yuichi and Maria don't move from the eating area, surrounded by the rest of Group K. Group K is a team whose only member is an intelligent leader who makes all the decisions. Not only are they friends, but they also play basketball together. On the third day, Tenji, who hasn't eaten in 6 days, hallucinates. Because Hyakutaro made a mistake, Yuichi and Maria ran away with the food. Hyakutaro and Chisato are after them. But Yuichi makes a sacrifice by pushing Maria off the cliff and making the other 2 members of Group K save her, while he runs away with the food. Yuichi gets to Tenji, who is almost out of it. He thanks Tenji for not pressing the button to give up, which means they can keep playing the game. Then Hyakutaro and Maria switch sides. Yuichi found out that the youngest member of K had always been in charge and a master manipulator. Yuichi cries and looks upset in front of them to make it look like he's lost it, but it's all an act. K thinks they have won, but he finds Tenji. Manabu-kan says Team C, Yuichi's, is the winner. Group K was surprised that Tenji tricked Team K's hider into pressing the give up button because the hider thought Yuichi was torturing Hyakutaro. All the games are over and Tenji and Yuichi get out of the Tomodachi's game. They go back to their school and find Yutori alone. They found out that Shibei and Shiho ran away because their classmates picked on them after they were accused of stealing the money for the school trip. Not long after that, they went to Shibei's house, where they found out that Shibei's father had been killed, while the police took Shibei out with blood on his shirt. Yuichi figures out that Shibei must have told his father about the Tomodachi game so that he could get the 2 million yen that the class needs to pay back. Yuichi stops being friends with Yutori in the next scene, but he's doing this to save her. Later that night, a fake Manabu-kan called Yuichi and told him they had kidnapped Yutori, and that he should go there alone or bad things would happen to Yutori. When he gets there, he sees a group of bad guys led by Kuroki, who is wearing a Manabu mask. He faces the people who took him, and they tell him what they want. To save Yutori, Yuichi has to play a game. In the game, he will be beaten 3 times, and Yutori will choose whether she will get 1 beating or Yuichi will get 3 beatings. Yuichi is the one who gets hit the most. Hercules, a big strong guy, gives the first 3 punches. The second gets 3 nails pulled out, and the third gets 3 stabs in the hand. He makes it through everything and then challenges the boss to a game of rock, paper, scissors. Even though the boss seemed to say that he couldn't lose, Yuichi still won. As a result, he cut off 3 of the boss's fingers. But before he could do that, Yuichi passed out and the boss was arrested for pretending to be their game. As Yuichi is being taken back in an ambulance, the Tomodachi game tells Yutori and Tenji about a way to get Shibei out of jail before the 4th game starts. The first season of the Tomodachi game is now over, with it the end of our video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting anime recaps here at Anime Recap.